and welcome to Keyframers, the animated collaborative coding live stream where we bring imaginative user interfaces to life. I'm your host, Stephen Shaw, but you may know me as @Shashaw.
And I'm your host, David Khourshid, also known as @DavidKPNO.
Together, we are joined by a new coding compadre, animation amigo, Boolean buddy, and our most recent patron, Adam Argyle.
You saw that?
I did.
Yes.
I see.
It's all for the pin, dude. You showed the pin. I was like, bling, I need it.
Yes. The patron pins, if you haven't seen, since we're plugging, you gotta check these out. These are nice gold pin, not actual gold.
Do you make a belt buckle?
You could make a belt buckle. You could make earrings. You could make cufflinks.
A grill? Can I have a grill? Keyframers grill?
Yeah, if you want
a really small belt buckle.
very, very tiny belt, decorative belt. But yeah, welcome to the stream.
Thanks. I'm excited. You guys do the coolest, most fun stuff.
Thank you.
That's what we do. It's what we're paid to do, except we're not paid, but that's okay.
Well, we are paid by you patrons. You help us keep going, keep these lights on, literal lights here.
I'm using natural light here, so.
Well, somebody has to pay for the sun, David.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
There's no free lunch. So anyway, so Adam, can you introduce yourself a little bit? What might people know you from? Where might people find you? Those kinds of things.
Yeah. So Adam Argyle, you can find me across the web as Argyle Inc., and that's INK. I made it up when I was a teenager. Don't ask me where it comes from. I could try to make up an explanation. It's not as cool as Shasha, which reminds me of a great movie for Ba-Bomb. Is that what it's inspired by? It was Scott Pilgrim?
Oh, no, it is not. No, it's just my initials and then my last name. I pretty much always go by Shaw, so
Shaw's cool.
Yeah,
it's super. Anyway, it's great. So yeah, I have a website. There it is. I'm nerdy.dev.
Yes.
That's a really old. That site is 6 years old. It's got me like 3 jobs.
Hey.
I haven't even changed it yet. It's like, if you even look at the code, it's got really old school techniques in it. Like I split out my bundles with grunt and gulp, and I have like a libs bundle and an app bundle.
Hey, if it works, it works.
It works. I load fully rendered partials. So it's like we have this concept now of like Jamstack where you pre-render and then you serve and you hydrate. Anyway, what I did here is I pre-render everything and I serve you just a little bit, and then I download the pre-rendered partials on demand. Because do you remember the jQuery function? It was Ajax, but you could ask for HTML, and it would give you you could Ajax an HTML file in. So anyway, that's what that's doing.
Nice.
I love animating stuff. I love building high fidelity interfaces. I like jank hunting. So it's like, let's find the little hiccups and figure out why they're hiccuping. And honestly, I just love everything about the web. I'm a JavaScript connoisseur. I just eat this stuff up. I listen to David a lot because I like David's provocative mentality. Not right.
Way too provocative. For me.
Provocative.
Yeah.
I love it. It's like, these are the things people need to hear. I'm like, David.
So where are you based?
I'm in Seattle.
Yeah, me too.
I love it up here. No, you're not. Are you?
I am right now. I am. I actually, I can see you right outside the window. So, yeah.
Dude, what are you doing later? You want to hang out?
I am going to the Museum of Light later.
I have a membership there because we take our kids there all the time. It's really fun to let the little minions run loose, and there's good Pokemon. Anyway, that's a great spot to go.
Awesome.
But I'm currently on Chrome and doing CSS. I just love CSS and was happy to take on the role of like, hey, can you help other people do CSS? I'm like, yeah. Anyway.
That's so. What exactly is a CSS DevRel? Like, how would you describe your job?
I can tell you what it meant to me and what I thought it should be, and I think that's maybe what they liked about it is I came with a lot of opinions. So first off, I think someone should be making it look really fun to build interfaces because honestly, it is about as fun as it's ever gotten. You all show it all the time. In 1 hour, you build the most banging little prototypes. You're just like, oh yeah, that little Behance thing probably took them 12 hours. We're going to knock it out in an hour with physics. It's all good, Yeah. So you guys are doing that job really, really well. I can't even top that. It's kind of why I'm here. I think you guys are just top-notch UI, fun, just Loving it. Anyway, the other side of it is I try to keep track of, so I have a long history of building apps at agencies, startups, and consultancies. And so I try to take all that knowledge and ask my friends who are still in those roles, like, what are you currently struggling with? What's hard? I remember what was hard. So a lot of that stuff I'm bringing to the table now. I've joined the working group. I'm mostly in an observer right now because I feel most of my career history is building stuff, not defining a framework to be built upon. So there's like this new learning that I have, which is how to produce specs, how to work with spec writers, and just work on the sort of complementary side to this yin and yang, where I bring all of the implementation and creativity. Like, here, I'll abuse those new CSS properties you create. Yeah, let me
give them to me.
Give them to me. I'll just go do stuff with them, and we'll see how I can break it versus authoring those things to be broken. So I spend time looking at everything that the CSS working group is talking about, watching what the HTML working groups are doing, turning that into guidance, and then doing my best to, just look at the whole scope of everything. And I feel like I'm blabbering, but it's all CSS top to bottom, and I'm just trying to be excited about it and share whatever I think is relevant for y'all. So
that's awesome. Well, we appreciate having some advocates for the new tech and pushing the boundaries. That's one thing we try to do as well. Appreciate all those compliments. It's good to hear. So anyway, we're kind of here to do that today. So we're gonna create an animation from scratch here using HTML, CSS, and a tiny bit of JavaScript. If you haven't watched the show before, thanks so much for joining us. We create animations, we do it live, and then we'll have the video available for you later. If you are short on time or anything like that, you can skip around at that point.
Skip around.
But if you like what we're doing, you can support us in many ways. Just like Adam, you can pledge at patreon.com/keyframers, and you can get one of these cool gold keyframer pins. You can also hit the like and subscribe buttons around the videos, and find some additional links below. And then we'll also be answering questions and stuff as we go. So reach out in the chat or leave a comment, and we'll get back to you. Let's take a look at what we're working on today. So Adam, you sent this to us. What's this animation? What are we working on here?
This animation. So on Instagram, I follow a bunch of UI UX things. I'm not really much of a Pinterester. And I sort of lost touch with Behance. I feel like those are still great resources, but it looks like we ended up there anyway. Oh no, this is Dribble.
Yeah.
I have an account on Dribble even, and I don't really go there to find stuff. Anyway, so I went to my favorite Instagram profiles and was scrubbing through their interesting UI demos and found this one that what I liked about it, at least that struck me initially, was the flip was nice to create an infinite animation. And I hadn't really seen you guys do anything that had that motion in it. And like here's one phone transferring and we'll flip to the other one. And I noticed there's even a depth change there. And I really liked the way that the focus was being done with the flip. Mm-hmm. So anyway, some subtleties were in there that I thought were important. There was a speed that kind of felt like it would be nice to match. Anyway, so it felt very keyframery, and so I thought I'd share.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we definitely like the animation. There's a lot of good things going on here.
Very cinematic. I think we're going to be focusing on the little transaction screen at the top, which does have its own set of unique animations.
Right. There's almost like 4 different states of that little modal.
Oh, my favorite word.
Already starting with states. So yeah, scrubbing through, you can kind of see the initial state, that incoming transaction where it pops up and you can accept or cancel. Then when you accept, it kind of goes into this transition where it's essentially loading, I guess, your money over to the other account, and you have that nice little bar fill up, and then the received state, kind of complete, and then the out state, I guess. So maybe just 3 states, but we kind of wanted to focus on that because there's a lot of subtleties of that are typically difficult in in web animation. So we wanted to show how to do that a little bit. So shall we start coding?
Let's
do it.
code. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, here we are. We got some bright
I have
reddish
a
pink
box with colors. That's all I did. I swear, that's all I did, and we're almost done now.
Yes, 95% there.
Brilliant.
Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and just start our modal, and let's see what all do we have in there. So
I made the entire app white, so I guess you can make the modal white. Yeah.
So let's change this over to modal, and we'll do. Let's see. We'll eventually at some point have a data state on there. So let's.
You beat me to it. Just gonna add that there.
We can read each other's minds at this point.
We can.
Yes.
Is that what you're gonna do? Huh?
Yeah, probably. So the header, like the incoming transaction bit.
Right. So that would be that, and then we have this sort of progressy thing. I'm just gonna do a div. Whenever I don't know what anything is, I make it a div.
Yeah.
Or I just make everything a div because that's the right thing to do. Just kidding, it's not.
Just make some soup,
And then we have a couple buttons here, and Adam, you could jump in at any time too. This is like a collaborative thing. There's like pair programming to the extreme where we undo each other's work. It's like a code review in real life, like a simultaneous coding and code review. It's like if that's even possible.
We say it's collaborative coding, but it also becomes competitive coding as well. So feel free to delete.
Yeah,
and,
it's like I'll be your Emmett. How about that? Then it's collaborative. I don't know.
So all right. So for these buttons, I'm using Flexbox because why not? Also, I made this width and height fixed, so I could probably just delete that. Let's see. Big content.
Nice.
Stretch should be fine, but why is it not stretching?
Oh, classic question.
What are you doing? A buttons display.
This is fun. This is like hectic. I'm like trying to figure out where my cursor's going. It keeps reloading. I love it.
Yeah.
UI looks great too. Whoever built the UI that shows the little name bubble and stuff. It's great.
Wow. Don't worry about that.
Oh, so
nice.
Aha, those are for the avatars. Interesting how it changes like every single time.
Yeah,
I like it.
we can.
That would never pass a visual regression test, but whatever.
We'll target. We can target a specific one if we want, but it's nice to see some variety, get some representation in there. Okay, so I just added the flex to that. Let's see, the animation. I think overall on the modal we can add some padding. Hey,
that was our first collision. That's cute. It's like we stepped on each other's toes. I went to dance a little.
So cute.
All right, so now our styles look perfect, which is great.
Yes, we've gotten it done. Sorry.
Adam, how do you name your classes, Adam? Because we don't try to force BEM or atomic CSS. We just name it nice and semantic. And
especially in a scenario like this, I'm going to go with the flow, and I'm going to go with whatever feels natural in the moment. And modal is great. I think status is great, but like the shorter the better, and the more natural to the way that we're going to talk about it, the better.
And I gave button a class of button because you want to make sure that the button is actually a button, because there's no other way to know that the button's a button.
Hey, but you long formed it. You could have said BTN and been all
no, I can't do that. Probably not. That's because then it could be a baton, right?
Oh, baton. Hey, that reminds me of the color. There's a color called button face. And you could say it's baton face. Anyway, it's a real color. You can use it. Let's use it right here.
The more you know.
Button face. See? It's beautiful.
Is that like a system color too?
It is a system color.
Interesting.
Which are being rejuvenated.
Wow. Yeah, yeah. There was kind of that revival with the system fonts last year or earlier this
Yeah,
year.
I like this system font revival. That makes me really happy.
Transaction. That, get that.
Oh, I noticed y'all use a lot of RGBA, but no HSLA. Tell me more about your guys' RGB love and hate of HSL. Why do you hate HSL?
Because it's a lot easier to for me to think about. I know HSL is superior, but it's a lot easier. Yeah, it is. For many reasons. But RGBA, it's just easier to think about because it's like, all right, it's a little bit red and there's some blue in there, so.
I'm gonna even go crazier with some modern syntax here.
Look at that.
Whoa.
Does that modern syntax work in SAS? It may not.
Wrong number of arguments per Priscilla.
Yeah.
You might want to give it.
Let's just put the commas back in there. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to make SAS happy because we use SAS for no reason.
We ran into an issue on CodePen, just getting like a bug report. Somebody using the new min-max functions that are behind a flag currently, I think, in CSS. Well, SAS has its own min-max functions, and they are not compatible at all. So, yeah, that leads to some trouble. All right, so we've got button accept and cancel. David's using these modifier classes, basically.
Yeah, have you seen these before?
Mm-hmm. I have.
Yeah, so I'll actually post a link to it. This is a very old, or it's not old, it's just like a different alternative to BEM that I really like because I think BEM is way too verbose. So the idea is that all of your classes are like the big classes are with dashes, so like app dash button, but right now we're just using button because whatever. And then your modifiers start with a dash. And so it reads really nicely in the HTML. It's nice and short, and it's
the
a little.
M was the best part of BEM. Let's just say, yeah, it really was. Like, take just the M, and you can leave the B and the E behind if you want.
Yeah, remind us what those are again. Block element modifier.
Block element modifier, right? That was the whole rule you had to learn. You're like, okay, is it a block?
Listen, I just don't like nomenclature that avoids the cascade. The cascade's a beautiful thing.
Ooh, I like the cascade. It's a resiliency feature. You know what? Anyway.
Yeah.
It
really is.
I'm going to change this over to be display grid. And then we're going to do just grid template columns. 1FR, and you'll see how this will come into play in a bit, because we'll do button active, grid column.
This is my favorite thing to have. So to get rid of positioned absolute elements, you can have something span multiple columns.
Mm-hmm.
So your grid template won't change. You still have two columns, but what you're going to say is the active element can span.
Right.
Very nice. I've been building like menus that come out from the side, like a hamburger menu, which is grid template areas, and being able to move something in and out, just because you can layer, you can stack with grid. You don't have to use absolute positioning all the time now to create layers. It's nice.
Yeah. It definitely
nice.
is. One technique. Wes Boss was tweeting about it recently, but it's one that we've been kind of championing. Exactly. We've been doing that lately. Is grid layering, like creating layers with grid and just like stacking elements. We'll often do that in the animations we make that have multiple states, where we'll just stack all the states. And one advantage of that, it's easy to transition between them, and they're all on top of each other, so you can easily set which one is visible and active. But the beautiful part about using grid for that instead of position absolute is you don't have to set the width and height on the parent. You can just let grid do that based on the largest child. So it kind of inherits that from the children rather than setting explicit width height on the parent.
Yes, love it. There's some intrinsic value in there that grid's just sort of dealing with. Right. And yeah, you can transition all those values too, right? it's not quite as flexible as what Flexbox, or not Flexbox, but Firefox has shown with their animated grid tracks. That's pretty interesting looking too. Those demos were really nice.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that. What did you do?
I'm going to grab that header H2 and get rid of some margins.
We'll do some grid gap here.
All right, I have a really random question. You know that $sign or $sign global thing that's available in Chrome? Is that also available in Firefox and Safari? And because I hate typing document.query selector.
That is an interesting question.
I don't know that it's...
I think it is.
That'd be awesome.
I think it's just one of those unofficial APIs that's on all browsers, but it's not like official anywhere. Let's see.
Yeah, I use that one all the time too. Totally agree.
Let's see.
So we have like an SVG item at the top of that there. How are we going to do that one?
Oh, the little like radio wave kind of effect.
Two arcs that just sort of transition their opacity.
It
sounds like an embellishment. It's nice to have, maybe.
Oh yeah, well we can get that in there. I was thinking that would be kind of a pseudo element, but I think it might need to be declared a little bit more because it has 3 waves and the way they animate in and out. Be interesting.
I can't remember which one's deprecated, the bold tag or the strong tag.
Are they deprecated?
One I feel like I shouldn't be using.
Wait, what was the question?
Bold or strong? Which one is the one that is right?
They're both still legitimate. It's just they have different semantic meanings. I think B has no meaning. It's just implied that it's going to have that font weight. Whereas
it's bold without extra importance, and strong is bold with importance.
Right. So like if a screen reader was looking at something and it saw a B tag, it's not going to care. But if it sees a strong tag, maybe it's going to pronounce with emphasis. I don't.
Nice. And a B tag, that sounds like something I should teach my kids to call other people. Hey, quit being a B tag. I like really innocent insults. I'm going to teach my kids a bunch of them. And it's like, there's nothing inherently wrong with being a B tag.
I'm a B tag. We're all B tags.
We're all B tags here.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh man, our shadow is way too strong.
Wow, that is quite a shadow. All right, so I started adding states for the app. When you click accept, it freaking gets big. I don't know what's up with that. Oh, wait a minute. Why? Oh, so do we have an actual?
So right now I just have like a button active thing, but that can be an actual state transition. That was just proof of concept. All right.
Let's move that to. I have something up there. So .button accept. So we're going to have the grid column. So what I'm thinking is that we are actually going to have 4 states. We're going to have this accepted state, and that's when the button is big. And then after some timeout, that just fades out. And then
we have a question in the chat. Do people ever give element IDs to be able to get those elements from the window? A little known thing. If you give an element an ID, you don't have to actually query for it. You could just say like window.app, which is
there's only one, right? So the browser's like, here's all they are.
In theory, there's only one. So, but yeah, I would not recommend that as a general practice for something like a
general practice.
Are you a How I Met Your Mother fan?
I am I've been doing that in meetings for so long. It annoys so many people. Like I came up with one of my own, which is what was it? It's anytime someone says. I always would throw up my West Side sign. I'll think of it later. Maybe it'll come up. We'll say something, and I'll just be like, I'll throw up the sign because in meetings I'm very distracted.
Grid.
How's our shadow still so heavy?
Whoa. That work?
I mean, it's heavy there, but it's like we just gotta really soften it up.
HSLA.
That sounds like some song lyrics. Why is my shadow so heavy?
So with HSLA, hue saturation lightness alpha, it doesn't need to be a point value rather than percent.
Oh yeah, that was new. We can now use percentages instead of point values in pretty much all of them, right?
Well, yeah, SAS may be doing some interpreting there, though. That
yes.
might be...
I've been in post CSS, CSS preset M land for a long time. I'm happy there.
Just giving up on CSS, huh? Just moving right on past it.
I gotta try the new stuff. I'm babbling my CSS, which sort of that's what SAS is doing too. You're almost like TypeScripting your CSS. It's it's trying to stay close to the spec. They do a good job. Yeah. I need to pause my video at the modal because I keep trying to see it in the moment.
Oh yeah, yeah. If you open if you right click and dribble, you can open the video in a new tab. If it's a more recent
open
post.
Video in a new tab.
And then you've got the controls and a large display of it that makes it a little bit easier.
That is delightful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Look at all the motion blur going on in this.
Quite a bit of motion blur. Are there any incoming APIs for motion blur?
I opened up a CSS proposal for it.
You are a saint.
I would love to see motion blur in there, and I even want to have focal length in there. I mean, I'd almost like to see it just roll out in pieces. I'm like, yeah, just give me some motion blur now, even if it's kind of cheap and fake, which is honestly how After Effects work. But yes, anyway, long story short, I would love to see motion blur. It's a proposal we can link in the show notes if you want.
Yes, please send the link, and we'll get that out there for people to promote, because that is worthwhile. Hey, thanks for calling.
There's so many moving parts in this.
Yes.
That's okay.
Hope I didn't pick one that's too tough.
No, nothing is too tough for us. We just fail gracefully.
Progressive enhancement, right?
Progressive failure.
Progressive failure. I heard a quote the other day, which was, if you don't enjoy failing in life, then you're not going to like life very much. And I was like, I empathize with that. Yeah.
I'm gonna experiment with something real quick.
And I'm gonna sign in to Twitch chat and share some.
Please.
Okay. Let's see.
Because we
can't animate from height auto. Gosh darn it.
That is correct.
Whatever. Yeah. I'm gonna do something else. Transform scale 1 or scale Y1 to transform scale Y0. So basically we have an accepted state, and then eventually that times out and goes to a loading state. So I'll show you what will happen. So we click the accept button, it goes into this accepted state, and then we set timeout. This is very ugly JavaScript. You're going to see a lot of our JavaScript is actually pretty ugly, and that's my fault mainly.
Oh, I've been watching all these. They get the job done, and if it works, it's great.
Get the job done. And so the point is, you want to make these separate states so that you could just throw them in whatever framework you want, just given the same sort of ideas. But I'm just throwing a set timeout here to fake something. Let's see, set state loading. All right, let's see if this works. We click accept. Oh, wow. It's stupid, but it works. Click accept and see what happens. So dumb.
Accept. Okay.
Yeah, let's see. I always feel like height animations like this are always what we want is a mask, not to actually change the height.
Right, but the thing is that the app itself has to shrink too. This is sort of why I made flipping, but yeah.
This is a good flip candidate here, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there is a lot transitioning. Yeah. I'm scrubbing the video real slow. Real slow, looking at every frame.
Bouncing around here. Status.
Actually, let's get rid of this loading state. because I just want it to be in that accepted state, so we don't need this anymore. Oops. Okay. All right, so you see what happened? Try clicking accept again, and then you'll see it just does that whole shrink up thing. But we need to do a couple more things there too.
Yeah, so let's see, where are you setting all this up? Okay. I'm going to move this down to the very bottom. One of the things I like to do is separate the animation and like transition kind of stuff, like state specific stuff, from just general layout.
Nice.
So I've moved all that down to the bottom here. And so one thing we can do is set max height 0 and max height 200 pixels, something like that, and that will actually transition the height.
Aha! Beautiful.
Yeah. So yeah, you can't.
So do we still need the scale Y stuff?
Well, that is actually doing that scale animation. So if you like that effect, then yes.
Oh wow. Yeah. All right. I see.
Right. If you did nested elements, you could do like the translate Y up to make it seem like it's sliding up. But yeah, that'll do it.
Yep. And in a scenario like this, I'd even say a height animation is kind of fine.
Yeah.
Well, you heard it from the Google guy himself.
We last year, Jason Miller and I, we tried to abuse a few properties and make them look really bad, and we actually had a hard time. So it was kind of heartening as we were searching to be disheartening that we couldn't be disheartened.
Well, so there's two things here. I understand that like animating height and width, a lot of the time, unless you're doing something crazy, you could actually get to 60 frames per second, no problem. I mean, that's not going to really be a big deal. Again, unless you're doing something crazy. But my question is, that it looks a little, like a tiny bit more, I don't want to say janky, but it looks a bit more crunchy than a scale animation. And that's because with transform scale, you're offloading it to the GPU, having it in a separate layer, and then you have this sort of subpixel thing that the GPU handles beautifully. Whereas when you're handling height and width, I don't know if it's subpixel. Maybe you could correct me there.
Ooh, that's a good thing to go research. I would estimate that it's not just the same way that you kind of broke it down there.
Yeah,
right.
top and left are not like if you animate position absolute top left, if you animate that way, it's going to round to the nearest pixel. Whereas if you use translate, it can do that subpixel kind of smoothing. So I assume height will be the same way.
Chunky unless it's a really long animation. So it's like if there's only a few frames in it, you're gonna see that subpixel value not being there, and it's gonna look like it's kind of stepping.
Yeah.
Anyway. I need to do a whole video series on just, hey, you didn't mean to animate height and width. Here's what you meant. And then I do what I think you meant, which is going to almost always be a mask. I feel like one of the big things with width animations is you don't want the text to reflow.
Right.
You just want the things, well, you want its width, its perceptive width to shrink without causing text to like grow bigger. Anyway, it's a tough one. It's a tough one because your eye sees something different than what you want to go code.
Yeah. So one thing in the chat, Poster says motion blur would be nice, but I imagine it would be super heavy computationally, like 60 FPS without blur, 10 FPS with blur. If we can get more hardware acceleration, get that on the GPU, then yeah,
the pitch was it's already on the GPU, and the proposal makes it sound like a request. Basically, the browser has the opportunity to be like, I see you asked for motion blur here. It's not going to happen. You're asking for it on a really low-powered Android, and we're just going to go ahead and not grant you that wish. You can have, but then in some cases, blur can make a bad animation look even better. So if you look at a 10 frames per second animation that has some blur, it is much more tolerable than one without it. So I don't know. We also have 120 frames per second devices out there now. They're going to have to account for what motion blur looks like on there as well. Oddly, though, Apple was the most interested. I think they want to blur on scroll and do some interesting tricks like that. We'll see. I don't know.
Huh. That'd be a nice trick.
Yeah. So for a nice typical status animation, I'm just having the pseudo elements the before, and so that's going to stretch out from scale x0 all the way to scale x1, and that's going to get that filling up thing without animating width. Which, I mean, we're doing lots of crimes in here, so it feels good to do something healthy. It's like getting a McDonald's meal, but having a salad or those little apple things.
Right. I shook my salad, so I got to work out when I was.
Yeah.
Twofold fitness or twofold health.
2 healthy choices in one.
Yeah.
Right. And so this is going to happen in the accepted states, but with a delay of, well, let's say like 2 seconds or something. Let's see, dot status before. Or actually, we could just have dot status. And then, let's see, for animation status, whatever. 1 second, 2 seconds, both. Status.
For the filling up animation, could we do a green pseudo element that is translated X off?
Way ahead of you.
Where are you?
Except I'm using scale X, not transform X, and the reason is there is none. I just did it. I mean, both will work. So
Cool. No. Oh yeah, scale X. I guess that makes more sense for the mental model of what's happening, right?
Yeah. See, there we go.
Word.
Yeah. Not bad, not bad.
Ooh,
the text
nice.
also changes out there. I'm gonna do a little work on that.
Oh yeah,
real quick.
you're getting
Right.
that looks like a good one for flex space between.
Well, so I was gonna switch this over to display grid now, and then they can occupy the same grid column.
I only wear Lacoste asks, Adam, can you send me some money, please?
Yeah, here you go.
Well, there you go. All of our patron funds have been sent to I only wear Lacoste because he asked nicely.
Lacoste always had a really cool little alligator on their shirts. I always liked shirts that had cool little mini avatars. Remember, what was the penguin brand that had a little penguin?
It's Penguin.
Oh. Dang it.
I think I have one of those shirts, so yeah.
You do? Oh, and you're wearing your outfit today that I called you out on the other day. Do you have 2 buttons undone, David?
Yes, the top one and the bottom one.
Looking good, man. In uniform, I like it.
Yes. So that's because if I do all the buttons, it just chokes me, and I don't really like that. See, I feel like a priest. I can't do that.
It's it does not suit. No, that doesn't suit you. It doesn't suit your loose personality, which is so good. You're just so outgoing. You have to undo 2 buttons. It's just who you are.
Yep. If I'm in Miami, I'll undo 3. But you know,
if I'm in Miami, I'm not doing any buttons.
Yep. It's a way to go.
Beautiful.
Okay, we got nice work happening over here while we're just yip-yapping.
All right.
So,
see the layers getting
Shaw, are you for the text like magic switching transformation effect? Are you doing your grid trick?
Yeah. So I'm
Awesome.
overlapping them. What's our initial state? Our initial state is prompt.
Prompt and then right? Accepted. Accepted is when you click
prompt
accept.
And accepted. Okay. All right. So I'm going to do that here. So data state prompt under status, we'll do message active equals.
I'm going to see if I can't research the border around our sort of container for money there is being drawn in. We could definitely do that with a dash array offset. Do you want me to go bring in an SVG element? We can wrap that and draw that in, or how are you feeling?
For which part?
The kind of colored border around the amount that we're sending gets drawn in, so it's like a light gray at first, and then as it's preparing to fill from left to right, it draws the whole border around. It just seems like a good job for stroke dash array offset.
It does.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah, please go right ahead.
All right, let me grab some SVG.
Oh boy,
I wish there was a fun way to say SVG in a word like Pong or.
it's sauvage.
Oh, sauvage.
It's a French word. Yeah, sauvage. Like, don't say savage. We don't talk about savage.
Is that new cologne?
It makes me want ceviche.
Ceviche. Some vectors doused in lime juice. Sounds delicious.
Vectors and lime juice. That could be a podcast.
Vectors and lime juice. Also, Shaw, I added a received state. So basically, when all the money is received, then we show another message, which is, "Hey, your money was received."
Okay, so just receipt or received.
Received.
Okay. Okay.
I before E, all that good stuff.
I disagree. Okay, so what I've done, I've set up data active as something that we can use to kind of toggle between some states. So this is gonna say what state that it should be active on. Down here, I've said if it's data active, then hide it. And so what we'll do here, data active prompt. Okay, that's working. So now we can do this here. Data active accepted, and I'm using visibility because we can animate that if we really want to. Okay, getting, yep, that's working. And data state received, so we'll target data active received, visibility visible. And this way we can reuse that throughout other parts of the animation if we need to as well, different pieces that will show or hide. Yeah, so I can do.
Yeah, this is a pattern that we've been using a lot, and
yeah.
By the way, I think Adam, you might know about this, but in Chrome they recently not released, but they started supporting a native state attributes, not data states. Just state.
Just state. So like it's a property on a node for you ready to hold state?
Yeah.
No, like an element can only be used in certain states, like Florida
right. Yeah.
Or Alabama. Right.
Oh, this sounds kind of familiar. This isn't the custom element enablement though, right? This is just for all nodes.
I'm actually trying to look it up right now.
Okay, cool.
Transition. I haven't seen anything on this, so I'm curious to see that as well.
Well, you both are in for a treat.
Good, because I'm hungry.
Actually, sorry, the treats were last month. We had a bunch of those.
Oh, yeah, I saw those. And this week, all the treats. I'm so tired of eating candy. I think I'm going to go home and throw it all away, actually. Because all I do is eat it, and then misery ensues pretty soon after. I don't know.
All right.
Wait, Shaw, did you steal any of your kids' candy? What's your candy of choice to steal?
No candy to speak of here. Our neighborhood is not very participatory. It's pretty dead here. So yeah.
He lives next to a cemetery.
No. Yeah, we stocked up on a few things for our own personal enjoyment. So I've got some Mambas here.
Oh, Mamba, number 5.
Yeah, well, they come in packs of 4, actually.
I was referencing that stupid song by Lou Bega. Okay.
Yes. We like to get.
I'm just going to deflect that.
We like to get extra meta on layers upon layers with our jokes as well as our apps.
Oh, that means it's like Cockney rhyming slang here in Keyframers, where you've got like meta on meta.
Exactly.
Sounds cool.
Man, I'm trying to think. So.
My computer's pretty fast, and all of this stuff is hammering on my machine. How do you guys do it?
So Zoom will do that for sure. If you have the stream playing in browser at the same time. Okay.
No, I do.
Go ahead and pause that, and that'll help.
All right.
That'll certainly help.
All right, I lost it. I can't find the state attribute thing, but I was so certain it was a thing. I'm going to have to dig into my tweets again.
No, not using the Twitter search.
Yeah, it's not a great experience.
Oh, sorry, my dog is hacking.
Your dog is acting?
My dog is in the room here, and he had a sneeze cough or whatever that thing he just dislodged was. I don't know.
I guess that's what happens with dogs.
Yeah, licking paws all day. That's. There's consequences to that, David. To licking your paws all day.
Yeah, it's true.
Accepted. So what are y'all working on over here? I'm just plugging away at the message stuff.
Yeah, it's looking good. I'm working on our line, our SVG that'll basically have a couple states that its line can draw in or out. So I'm trying to make it easy to drop in here in a second.
Yeah, I'm just synergizing with different verticals. No blockers here. Oh, I'm sorry. We're not in an enterprise company.
This isn't a stand-up. No.
Okay.
Good old stand-ups.
Uh-huh.
Go.
Do we have all right, so there's some stuff that's common, I guess, for both the received state and the accepted state, right? Yes. So.
Received and accepted.
Yeah, because right now when it, after 3 seconds, it goes to the received state and then stuff just shows. So
right.
I'll go ahead and make those common states. So I'll just make it right about the accepted state and data state equals received.
Yeah.
So did you all hear the Microsoft announcements today? Lots of really cool stuff going on.
I did see that. Well, as long as you're talking about the browsers finally got a release date.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super exciting. That's why I was updating all my slides today. You and I are giving a talk on new CSS, and we had this little browser compatibility chart, and we're like, got a new icon. Got to update all my slides now. And now we have 3 IEs where like there's really old IE. Maybe you're supporting that. There's the IE you're probably supporting, and then the IE you will support. We're like,
well, yeah. So the great thing is that now they claim that any site that worked in IE 11 will work in the new Edge, and they will support it for free. And so that's like their move forward to like be like, stop supporting IE. Period. Like you don't need to. If it works in 11, it works in Edge. So just do your stuff on Edge.
Yep, they're doing a good job. I like all that work.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it.
Lots of synergy.
Lots of synergy.
Yeah, it's my favorite word.
It's working for you. Dude. Keep dropping it.
You know what's worse than synergy?
Fleshing it out.
That or
I hate that phrase so much.
You know what's another one? You're gonna know this. You're gonna hate it. Cross-pollination.
Cross-pollination.
Like what the heck? Like, dude, is this birds and bees type stuff? Like, come on.
It's like people saying best in breed. I'm like, we're talking about apps here. Like, and paving the cow path. I'm like, quit paving. I'm not a cow. Quit paving my path. Wait, I'm not a cow. So quit paving their path. Wait, they're not cows.
Yeah, we'll bike shed that term. Well, let's spike on it.
I've been trying to share. I'm like, okay, let's crystallize our ideas. Let's no longer flesh them out. You know,
we need to start inventing ridiculous phrases and just throwing them in there and just see how quickly they catch on.
I'm interested in this.
Like we're, there's dog fooding. Why not litter boxing. Like we're gonna litter box.
Hey, is that like my sandbox? No, that's not my sandbox. That's my litter box.
No, litter box is worse.
Is that where we're hacking? I feel like we're all hacking together in a litter box right now.
Yeah. All this synergy.
Is that I think Satan really likes that term because he's like, yes, everyone is sinning together.
Yeah.
There's synergy. There's energy of sinning.
Yeah. Well, it's all corporate companies do anyway. You can hear from me.
HSL. Oh man, all the color hardcore people are like LCH.
What is LCH?
LCH.
It is the HSL that matches your eye, and it's more specific to how like the human is consuming a color. I'm probably butchering it, but from my understanding, it's like lightness isn't just mathematical lightness; it's visual lightness. So you can be more confident in your light manipulations in LCH than you can in HSL. HSL also tends to, anyway, has a couple of edge cases that LCH irons out through a more complex algorithm, but it's similar usage. So if you're using HSL, you're probably getting closer to LCH over time. Anyway, hope that was helpful.
I don't know what was just said. I don't follow it.
How about, you know what? Let's put CMYK in the browser. Why not? Right?
Yeah, I mean, we have print style sheets. What if I want to use CMYK there?
Yeah, have that, more fidelity in the colors for printing, I guess.
Yeah.
So sometimes when I hear designers think about colors, I just admit that I'm probably colorblind because I'm like, I don't see what you're seeing. I'm not colorblind for the record, but
no, I find color to be very difficult and something that I'm constantly studying all the time. It's like one of those things it's easy to overlook. The more you learn about color, like kerning and stuff, you're like, I never noticed the spacing between letters until someone showed me, and now you can't unsee.
Wait, what does color have to do with kerning?
And that you can't unsee it as soon as it sort of starts to become a thing in your life.
Right. Yeah.
You'll walk into a room and just be like, the shades are off. And yeah, I don't know. But I'm still refining my palette, my eye palette. Does my eye have a palette or just my mouth?
So there's like 6 different spellings of palette that are all different words. You've got the palette that you like load boxes on. You've got the palette that you like paint from. The color swatches. Then there's also the palette of like taste. I think is a separate spelling. It's nuts.
It's nuts.
Okay, so you've got your circles happening up there. Is that you, Adam?
I am still in another pen making this way too robust SVG that's just going to draw a line around it.
Okay, so that Adam is working on that, David. Yeah.
No, wait, which one?
The like little radio waves at the top.
I'm not doing the radio waves. I'm doing the border around the pill.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so
I'm doing the radio waves.
Yes,
which I just called circles because I'm not that creative. All right,
I think that's
I must be getting this property wrong. Border top left color, is that a thing?
Border top left color. It has to be all hyphenated. But
it is.
Border top left.
Am I getting that wrong?
Border color top left?
Border top color left? Color border top left? It's not taking it.
Where are you at? I want to read it. Border.
That
looks right. Let me look that up. Let's see.
Border left. Border
top. Border top color. Okay, it's just border top color or border left color. You can't have top left.
Well,
that's what sounded right. Yeah.
Okay. I messed up for some reason.
No, that was hard. That was a good one. That's a great CSS pop quiz question.
Border left, right color.
Change the color of the top right of the border, and you're like,
all right. Well, then I'm going to do something silly because now it's at a 45-degree angle. So transform, rotate 45 degrees. There we go. Wow. I wish you could have that, whatever, circular thing. Never mind.
Circular thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish there was a border top left color. That's all I.
You could just clip with like clip path or something.
Also, border inherit does not inherit border radius. Did you know?
Fun fact.
Ooh, inherits are tricky.
Yep. That's why I use them sparingly.
I use them all the time. It's just nice not to have to reset everything.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true.
Okay. All right, so I changed my data active thing to data view, and then in the JavaScript, I'm toggling a data active state like we do many times if y'all need that for anything y'all are doing.
I like your guys' use of those. I think it's nice.
Yeah, data attributes in general are just such a great little hack that work really well between the HTML and the CSS and the JavaScript. Like there's just a lot of nice little conventions.
Yeah, it can only be one value at a time, which is exactly what you want it to be.
Yeah.
Unless you're using xstate. Dun, 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 countdown until we set it, and there it was. It had to be thrown out there eventually.
Thank you. Yes, I agree. Who is changing my scale? Who did?
It's not me. It's not me. I'm somewhere
0.5,
else.
right?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I'm just acting like I'm doing work over here. You know, it's no big deal. No, I'm pretty close. I just got to get the drawing in part here now.
And I don't think border width can be a subpixel.
What are you, the border width police? Mm-hmm. I'm going to make it 1.5 pixels if I want.
Well, so what you can do is make it bigger than you want it to be, and then scale down like the.
Oh, you're right. Okay, actually, yeah, I'm going to do that. So this is going to be with like 150% heights. Higgins.
Like, that is probably one of my most frequent typos.
Which one?
Height, HIEGHT.
Oh man, what do I do? There's a couple of them that happen to me all the time. Can't remember them in the moment. I don't know.
Wow. Close enough. Wow. That is embarrassing. Oh no, it's because I had the top 0, left 0, all that jazz. So
I mean that's kind of the layout that you want. Well, no, they are.
You know what? I'm fine with this. I'm gonna live up to it.
Yeah, that's fine.
This is probably gonna be 0.7 or 57.75.
See, that's what I was trying to fix for you earlier, and then you complained. Like 0.6 is probably more accurate here.
Yeah, something like that. There we go.
All right, and those are just going to be constantly animating.
Yep, just in sequence. Yeah.
Cool.
Which are you going to be able to do that with just two pseudo elements? Because the center one is animating.
Yeah.
As well.
Oh. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna animate border color instead.
Oh sure. That'll do
and then that'll work. Yep. Now the keyframes are going to be actually no, they're not going to be very interesting, but there's a little trick to it. Keyframes, I'm just going to call it circle or pulse, whatever.
Yeah.
From then so border color black, then 25% to border color variance. And so each of these are going to have
a great case for animation inherit. Just saying.
Pulse 1 second infinite. Let's see both.
I want to watch what's happening. Oh
wow, that's too fast. 4 seconds. Yeah, thanks. In fact, that could probably just be a CSS variable. So now we could just change the delay, and then we're good.
Yeah. So animation delay point. Let's see, about 1 second probably, and 2 seconds, something like that. Oh, hey, doing some actual
Math.
variabling.
Yep. Will that work? Is my math right? Looks a little weird.
What's happening?
Let's divide it. You got 4 seconds.
Pulse divide by 4. Yeah, so we're dividing this by 4. So the first one, which is the before, it should be just quarter pulse. So there, quarter pulse, and then the after one is going to be quarter pulse times 3. And so the actual one is going to be animation delay or quarter pulse times 2. All right, so now let's see.
All right, I'm ready with my shenanigan to pull it in when you guys are.
Okay. Yeah, in just a moment.
Oh, it works, except it's the wrong way.
From to. So I think you might need to.
Did I do it the wrong way? It's right, but it's also wrong.
100%.
Yeah, you see how it's going the wrong way?
Yeah.
Mhm.
What's
Okay.
up with that?
Oh, you know what? It might be a. No, I have it as both, which it should probably just be forwards.
Mm-hmm.
Or reverse.
Or maybe, oh wait, my before is the small one. So that one should be like, actually that one should be like no delay.
Right.
The after one is the big one, so that should be the twice, and then this one should be 3.
It probably does need both on there for the animation delay backwards of effect.
Right, but there's 2 happening at the same time.
Yeah,
Why
because
is that?
animation delay.
You just get less tricky with it.
Well, you're overriding the animation delay, so hold on, it needs to be like that because you were setting this below, so that should get it. Nope. Okay. Animation delay
It's like
here.
teasing us. It's like, I'm wrong. Hey, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
We like being wrong.
Yeah, being wrong is an opportunity to learn something.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
It's a great feeling. All right, so let's see with this animation.
Yeah, that's weird.
Is it because of the length?
Good question.
Animation delay is
Is it because if one is happening before the others, maybe it's passing the length and therefore starting first, kind of weird thing?
like is it the repetitions of it, or is it because
It might be the it might be the repetition.
it seems. Let's see if it's okay on the initial $121. That's really strange. That's one thing we can try here. It's a negative delay.
Yeah, the negative delay trick.
That does not seem to animation delay. I did not think this was the one that was going to trip us up.
Let's see.
Yeah, it seems straightforward. But I probably messed up somewhere, as always.
Break down for me what keyframe 0%, 25%, and 100% combined is. And so we're going to maintain the same spot from 25 to 100 and then jump back to 0.
Right.
Right.
Do we even need the... Okay, we need 100.
Oh, so it's not... yeah, so it's not actually fading in. So what we probably want is 0%, 50%, and then this should be like 25%. And then that should give us at least some fading. Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
All right, the staggering is still off, but... -2.
Yeah, one of these must be going... Because if it's starting right away, yeah. So.
Animation delay. Should be 0 seconds.
Oh, there's a IV class up here.
IV
Oh,
class.
that was div. Oh, it looks like there's some typos happening. Boom.
Did I typo somewhere?
Yeah, it's cool. I got your back though. We got a couple of ifs in here.
Oh, no.
Probably some crossover in typing.
Yeah.
Boom. Boom. But it doesn't look happy.
Refresh because I'm looking at it and it's okay. It's showing div. Sometimes it just gets slightly out of sync.
Or footer's not closed. Oh no, footer. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, I'm out of sync. Okay. Yep.
Okay.
All is well on the cosmos.
All right, David. Why don't you keep working on that pulse, and Adam, why don't you bring in what you've been working on?
Yeah. Should we check that out?
Yeah.
I think it's a good time.
I'm interested.
All right. So here's our SVG, and I'm just going to drop it here at the top of status. I'm unsure of how we're going to wrap this yet, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So we've got an SVG, class of pill. We have 2 rects in it, 1 rect, so they're both the same size, but what we want is a gray one that gets a green one drawn on top of it. So our fill, so we have our second rect that's got the same rounded corners, the same height. We'll have to change this width and height here. But the fill is ready for, so I have some CSS over here to offset its dash array, so it kind of creates a space and we'll draw it in on focus. But let's start by, hacking off these height and widths and giving those something coming from CSS, so it's a little bit more succinct here. I think we can just fit those height and width to 100%, right? Get inside the container, have the container own the size, or what do you think? Should the SVG own some width and height here, or?
Running into, let's see. Are you messing with the CSS, David?
I am, yes.
Animation unclip.
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, colon. Sorry. All right, carry on.
Okay.
Okay. I was like, all
right.
There we go. I'll put that back.
Everything is broken.
It was your fault. Just kidding.
Okay.
So
the
we can add
pill.
the styles back in here. Yeah. So we have a pill instead of status. I'm going to look for status in our code here. Yeah.
Yeah, so I set that position absolute. Where are you adding in your styles?
Here, I'll find where you're putting yours because I was putting them somewhere new. Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
All right, so we're just going to fill transparent. We don't need anything in there. I guess that was probably what it already had. No, it had black, right? We're going to stroke with our bar. What do we have in here? Is brand green? Oh, color green. Right. Well, let's see. That's the stroke that we want when it's filled. So pill. And we'll probably add some sort of modifier for sending, maybe. I don't know. What do you guys want to do there? Or here we'll do a data state. Something like this.
Right. We can set that down below. Here. Let's.
Cool.
So we'll move this down. So in our data states down here in Modal. So under, let's see, data state prompt, we'll say dot pill. We want the stroke to be gray, right?
Green. So your guys' brand green there, or the color green.
Okay, and then
so we'll take the border off of the parent element here. That way we're only using the other one. That means we don't need border radius here either. Okay. Our pill should have a stroke, but I don't see it.
yeah, something's off with it. I think the rect does need the width and the height.
Oh yeah, we can try giving it here in CSS. Oh, you.
Well, the actual rect elements, like the SVG needs to have its own proper sizing.
Cool. Oh, hey, that's an unfortunate effect of.
Yeah. It's RX 20.
Okay. Ew.
Yeah. So that's kind of an issue with the sizing, because we don't have it don't have an actual view box, so it's kind of getting stretched.
Sure.
0,
yeah, we can pop one back in.
300, 100, something like that. It's probably too big. 550.
This is when we're moving away from a nice responsive solution.
Well, yeah, that's just kind of the issue with SVG, like sizing it in this way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's see.
Oh,
all right. So
position
that's
absolute again. We could do another grid. So let's see our status.
yeah. So
it's already grid, so we could.
Right.
Okay.
Grid column 1, -1. Grid row 1. And then adjust our numbers a little bit.
Yep. And then the fun part next is where we're going to mess with stroke dash array and stroke dash offset.
Ooh. Okay, so part of the issue is the padding there, so we do want it to be position absolute.
What we do? Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, interesting. So padding became an issue there. That makes sense. So that's like a limitation of the grid stacking scenario.
Yeah.
All right. Good to know.
0. Okay. 0.
And what do we have on width there? We've got, let's try something like here. This is where a whole bunch of guess and check comes into play.
Yeah. So you can do that with JavaScript, like getting that.
So like get the bounding box and do the math.
Well, no. So there's
tell me more.
There's something built in. So let's see. So we want const L pill fill equals document.query selector dot pill dot fill. And then, so we want to get the length, so we'll say const length equals L pill fill dot get, what is it? JS path length, get total path length, I think.
Oh, get total path length. Oh,
or get total length. Get total length.
Right. So instead of adding all the sides up yourself,
right,
which might be wrong. Why don't you just get the actual path length?
Right.
Cool.
Get total length. And let's just console.log that here. Make sure that we're getting it right. Yeah. Okay. And then what I do is say L pill fill.
That
dot style
sounds
dot
like
set.
Someone like El Pilfil. He sounds famous and
to Spanish.
Length. So now we have our length available as a CSS variable.
Sick.
I wrote a little micro library for this a while back.
Yes, very nice.
So var length, and then stroke dash offset. We want it to be 0.
Yep, until our modifier, which you drop down below. Cool. I love seeing this more succinct technique. And anytime you bring in custom properties to help out with something, it's always going to be doing yourself a flavor. So very nice.
Okay, so pill. Let's see. So data active prompt. Let's remove that here.
Let's see. And I'll go. Is the JavaScript setting that state yet for us to leverage?
Yes. So down a line 260 ish in the CSS is what we want. So .pill.fill.
Yes.
We want to say stroke dash offset var length, something like that.
Oh, really? Okay, cool. Oh, that makes sense. All right.
Something like that. So let's go back to the SVG.
Oh, and we broke the. Oh, because I took out the. Oh, we're gonna have to match the border radius and because of the way that he's filling the color there. I created trouble.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate you created trouble. It's like,
why did we bring you on again?
Shenanigans.
1 second. Linear.
See, I'm going to change view to a debug view and see if I can pop this open in over here. Yeah, get some dev tools on it. Okay. Slow down some interactions maybe. All right, let's see.
We won't be able to spend too much longer on this here. I've got to head out, so we'll try and reach a stopping point here.
Yeah, if we can't get it with the drawn border, I think that's fine. Like just a glowing border is a great compromise. Sort of as it just kind of draws in as a unit instead of a round.
Yeah. Okay, so do stroke dash length. Okay, so there we go.
All right, I saw it. Yep. Okay.
All right, now down in the active state, go back to pill fill. We'll set length to 0. And let's see.
Nice.
Yep, there we go.
Love it.
All right, so we probably just want to make that stroke a little bit thicker. We'll do that in the CSS. My goodness.
The pulse is looking sharp there, David. Very nice.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I don't know what happened, but I fixed it. Yeah, the widths are a little off, but that's okay. It's an artistic choice, as we like to call it.
And I'm gonna go unbreak something I broke. So, status needs that border radius brought back. Let me just get that just right.
Let's say down here. My goodness. So yeah, the keyflection of this is going to be helpful.
Interessante.
Yeah. Okay, so added a transition delay there. So
and yeah, we have a mismatch between our SVG box and our status box.
what is all this unclip business you've been doing, David?
It's that revealing of the received text. It doesn't work though, so.
All right, let's see.
Sue me.
Say stroke dash offset, And why is dash array and dash offset not
Have a dash
camel case or
it seriously
case?
messes me up all the time. It's like dash offset, one word all together. Really?
Well, you know what? I understand it, because if it did have a dash there, you would have to call it stroke dash 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 array, which, I mean, that's a little bit crazy. I get it.
All right. Did I just bust our?
I think
our
I broke
SVG
it.
out the width?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Here we go. Okay.
All right. So we fill properly now. I think it's just our width needs to come down a little.
Yeah, there's something's off with the. Okay, so
Dun,
width.
dun,
Yeah,
dun,
let me
dun,
set
dun.
that to like 320. And I need to adjust some of the sizing of it. So one thing I did is max width 100%. Okay, you've got height 100% there. So let's drop that off and drop that off.
Oh, that was me that added height 100%. It
Yeah.
was to make. Yeah. Let's see. That.
So one thing I did was adjusted the sizing to just use the position absolute there.
Mm-hmm.
Go to 300. Maybe that'll make it taller.
Oh, it's almost like we should have used the same SVG for like a fill animation.
Yeah.
Because they are the same unit. Now we're going to pay the price of kind of having to manage two.
Right. If we rebuilt it, I would definitely do it that way.
Just more SVG. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Stop changing things.
I discovered something really weird. Remind me to tell you. Well, it's terrible, but it's awesome.
Tell me now, because I'm having an identity crisis watching how many avatars I have. Is this what imposter syndrome is like?
Yes.
So, all right. At the beginning of this episode, we talked about the idea of maybe it's okay to animate width and height a little bit. You know, not too much. Just,
yeah.
all right. So what I'm doing in the JavaScript is I'm setting a CSS variable of double dash width with the actual width of each of the elements. And so with that, I could animate instead of doing like the max width, hacky trick. Instead, I could just animate it based on the actual width. Actually, over here we should use heights because I want to animate the height up. So instead of doing this max height business, now we could, like right here, it's max height 100 pixels. I could just say from height calc var height times 1 pixel and just animate that height to 0. And everything works.
You could also set that to max height. Doesn't specifically change it, I don't think, but
right.
It'll potentially fix the element like resizing by using max height. It'll just clip it out. Why is it not working anymore? Is it working for y'all?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, let me refresh.
There's a couple of interesting bugs. One of them almost looks like a feature.
Yes, it is a feature. That was very intentional.
Because it's the mismatch of our border radius on our like status and our border radius on our SVG. There was like an outer stroke. It was like we had two strokes. It's kind of cool. I don't know. Yeah, I'm still seeing like width. It's a little clipped.
Yeah. Let me do something there. All right, Pill Phil, where are you?
Pill Phil. I like now that I see L in front of the variables, they all look Spanish to me now, which is awesome.
That's exactly
Pill Phil.
Exactly
L
what
button,
needed.
L views. I'm like, this is awesome. Is this a language lesson? I'm having a great time.
Wait, what happened to now the box is auto shrinking? Is that my fault?
The box is auto shrinking.
Well, just go ahead and press accept and you'll see the thing I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was supposed to shrink.
Oh wait, no, it looks fine. Just
yeah, it's working. All right, I'm gonna call it here. We're gonna go ahead and
This is
keyflect.
great.
And we can do some cleanup after if need be to fix anything that's off. But yeah, so Keyflections is the part of the show where we just kind of summarize what we've learned and make give it a little final pat on the back before we send it off into oblivion. So if you have any questions, go ahead and ask in the chat. We'll be happy to answer.
And also this show is made possible by your support and all that good stuff.
Yes, pledge at patreon.com/keyframers, just like Adam. Follow his example. He's a
Feels good.
guy.
I feel very good.
So our second three framers, or third, however you count it, if you count Dave crashing as a three framers. But yeah, we've been working with Adam Argyle here. We've got his links available for you, and we've been working on this money magnet animation. Well, at least the incoming transaction part of it. So, we've got basically that happening here, where, we've got basically 3 different states happening. If you accept, it goes into the, let's see, what's the name of all of our states? We've got the prompt state, which is that initial state. We've got the accepted state, which is this. And then we've got the received state, which is that final received state. If you click, it goes back to the beginning. So, we didn't do like a full state machine setup or anything like that. It's just some raw JavaScript. As you, click specific things, it transitions into specific states. So that's not the greatest approach, but it's just for helping those transitions to happen. We've got this set state function that's really just changing the data state attribute on our modal, so that we can trigger all of those transitions in CSS. And then I added a little bit of JavaScript in here to look for anything that's marked as data active, and then it removes that data active attribute.
Classic code.
And then it goes through all of the data view elements to add a data active attribute if it matches the current state. So let's see. Let's just cover a few of the pieces that we did. David, why don't you talk about the accept and cancel button animation? What are you doing there?
Sure. So I did a little bit of a hacky thing, but it's okay. In the JavaScript, once we rendered the button, the accept button, I set the width CSS variable to the actual width of the button. And that way I could animate the width of the accept button all the way to, 100%. So I can animate it from its pixel width to 100%. And then the cancel button just gets animated to 0. So that's what that is. Or, actually, it doesn't get animated at all, but the accept button just overtakes it, which is totally fine.
Yeah. So in our CSS, we've got the data state kind of triggers for these transitions. So the button accept, we've got this stretch button here that's stretching it from its current width to width 100%, and it's also using the grid column to stretch over the other button there.
Yeah.
And then the buttons element, it's got the shrink up, where it's going from the current height down to height 0. So it's just using those variables in the JavaScript. Okay.
Nice.
All right, and then the pulses, David. How did you solve that? We've got some pseudo elements, pseudo elements in there, and they're
So funny enough, what I ended up doing was switching. The small one is actually the element, and then the before pseudo element is the bigger one, and then the after one is the bigger one. And then we just adjust the animation delays, and everything works.
Yeah, good call there.
Cool.
Awesome. Okay, so yeah, we've just got the animation pulse going through there, and the animation delays for the staggering to create that nice little effect. All right, Adam, you want to walk us through pill fill? A little bit of what we're doing there?
Yeah, we have an SVG. Its class name is Pill, and we wanted it to. We had 2 layers of borders that we needed to draw. We had a border that was going to be permanently present, which is sort of an inactive state. It was, though, containing some elements and looked great as a design layer. And then what we did is we placed another one directly on top of it called Fill, and it's the second rect, which means it's going to be on top of the first one. And what we did is we set it offset on its array of like it's. Let's see, we have dash offset, which takes the border, breaks it up into little pieces, almost like little ants. But we want to make the ant really long and then off screen. And then what we do, we did that with JavaScript. So we took the width, the length of the actual drawn item all the way around. That way we could set it all the way off screen and determine the proper amount of gap that needed to be there so that it looked like one ant was just marching in and completing the whole parameter.
Yes.
The ant, I stretched an ant there. I think that's not very nice. I mean, maybe it's the ants. Anyway.
So yeah, down in the JavaScript, just did a quick get total length calculation to apply that as a CSS variable, so that we can use that in here. So we go from stroke dash offset the entire length of the path, which makes it appear like there's no stroke, and because we're using the same value for both values of the dash array, for making those big ants, as Adam said.
It's a giant ant.
And then when we change states down here somewhere, we go to stroke dash offset 0, so it animates that line around. And we got to do a little bit of alignment work there to fix that, but it's pretty close. Yeah,
it's great anticipation for the fill animation that comes in next by David. So we get this little drawn border and then.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. So with that, with received, let's see, what did you do? For pill fill also on the received state, I went ahead and animated the stroke dash offset to length times 2, so it just loops back around to hide it, kind of revealing that gray border in the same way.
I did see that. Very nice.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And then let's see, David. Where did the fill? Oh, the fill is an actual animation, the status before coming from scale X to scale 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So a lot of fun little pieces here. A lot of animation coordination and passing things from JavaScript to CSS. They're friends. You know, we want them to work together, and we want it's not a battle.
And the way they work together is with CSS variables.
Right. Right.
What a nice interface too. I like it.
I know. Yeah.
Yes. Data attributes too. You know, we're using that quite a bit. You know, these are all great ways for all of these different languages to play nicely together and get along. So you know, stop all the bickering out there. You know, these work together.
They're definitely friends.
Right. just like us and Adam here. So. Yeah, we've greatly appreciated having you on, Adam. Anything you want to plug before we close here?
No plugs. I mean, we filled the pill, or the pill got filled. So I think we plugged the. No, this was really fun. Loved the fast pace. Y'all are wicked at the console together. It's nice. It's almost like you two are in a band and you're playing along, and I'm just like trying to play bass with you. I'm like, boom, boom. I'm just gonna do my best, but you guys are doing. Yeah, it's awesome.
It's a good thing we put you on the bass then.
Yeah. All about that bass.
Yes. Well, yeah. If you want to find more from Adam, you can follow him on Twitter at Adam Argyle or Adam Argyle Inc. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So,
and he also has a code pen too. So
yes, with some very interesting experiments in there.
Things will more and more will show up in there. Yes, I even made a collection today for Chrome Dev Summit. It'll have all the demos.
Do you like that collections interface?
In fact, I would like to. Did you make it? Because the hover. So there's 2 things about that that's really nice. The first one is the interaction puts the button that you want me to push right next to my cursor. It was already there. It's no accident. So really liked that UX, because typically it was like a multimodal experience, which could be annoying, but you did it very, very well. So it's small, it's contextual, it's succinct. In fact, the ability to uncheck something, and you have combo button, which is also hard, where the button all the way on the right was a check state, like in the collection or not. Whereas if I clicked the button itself, it would take me somewhere. So these things had lots of really good UI feedback. So the highlights on hover and stuff gave me really good insights into where it was going to take me if I clicked. And so I was not confused, and I felt like a power user right away, making collections. Very nice. Anyway,
good to hear. Yeah, that's that new add to collections modal that we released on CodePen last week or the week before. Gotten real good feedback on it. I want collections to be used more, so we're trying to make them a little more usable there. Nice. So check that out.
I'm glad I can help you plug collections today.
Yes, yes. Very nice. But go over to at Argyle Inc. on either CodePen or Twitter, and follow Adam and check out more from him. And you can also head over to twitter.com/keyframers to follow us and check out more from what we've got going on. We also have all of our past episodes at youtube.com/keyframers. So go over there and like and subscribe. You'll
go watch them.
You'll be sure to find something you like, as Adam has. You can also pledge at patreon.com/keyframers. Get one of these cool new pins.
Belt buckles?
/ tiny belt buckles.
Not even I have one yet. That's how exclusive they are.
They're coming. I haven't mailed any out yet. It's all fresh. They'll be coming. They'll be coming soon.
Also, we do accept submissions for future episodes. So this was an on-the-whim idea, just like all of our other episodes, where we invited Adam on, and we couldn't have done this without him. So I'm really glad.
Thank you so much.
We had him on the show. So tweet at Keyframers with any animations you'd like to see made, or any collaboration efforts that you would like to see on the show. Like, if there's anyone in the community that you would love to see on the show, let's get them on.
Yes.
So also, you could present questions and challenges to us, and we'll try to answer them on the air. So please share this video and demo across all of your social platforms.
Please.
Yeah, spam it out. It's okay.
Well, that's all we have for you today. Thank you so much, Adam, for joining us, and thank you, everyone, for watching with us. We'll catch y'all next time. Adios, amigos.
Adios.